as an accelerator. And when you look at what the pandemic has done in terms of accelerating medicine, certain economics, technology, and so forth, you have to look back and say, over the last 6 months, what was I doing? And over the next 6 months, if a lot doesn't particularly change, what should I be doing? And so that's why we kind of raise the question, is it time for a financial pivot? Now, as I often talk about, real estate is a business, and it's a business that you need to treat like a business. And so a lot of people look at getting involved in real estate or starting to invest in real estate as as a very casual possible question. And what I wanted to do is make sure that we put it in the context of a business. And if you're buying real estate to live in, that's one thing. But if you're buying real estate to generate some additional income, and we talked a couple of different aspects of that in yesterday's show, but what I really want you to do is to look at it in the context of starting a business. And so you may be asking yourself this very question: should I start a business? Should I get involved in real estate? But instead of trying to answer such a broad question, I suggest instead that you ask yourself a list of more specific questions that allow you to focus in more on the whole concept. And by answering these questions, and I started that list, I'll say that was part one yesterday, you should be able to get a better feel and maybe look at it from maybe a little bit more serious perspective. And answering these questions will also give you more confidence, which is what I want you to have, and more strength in your choice of moving ahead. So after you ask yourself these questions, I highly recommend that you give us a call. Yesterday, I offered a free strategy session. If you're interested in starting a business and you're talking to someone who has been a serial entrepreneur over the years, along with my partners, which we have the big round table coming up this Thursday, and we give a lot of advice, and we do coaching and help them to further their business from literally incubating, from concept to confidence and starting. And so we can show you how to start your business in just a few very simple but well-defined and detailed steps. Now, the human mind works a lot like the computer, right? In terms of it's fight or flight, or it's yes or it's no. It's green or it's red, or it's stop or it's go. However, considering only one simple question like that in starting a business could lead you to a decision that you may regret. And I don't want you to jump forward blindly, although that's courageous. And once you do take that step forward, I want you to really go for it. But should I start a business also depends on your business idea. And one of the nice things, we'll always put it in the context of real estate, that starting that business is a proven system, a lot like a franchise, that you can start. Many people have been down that road. There's lots of help, support, and examples. And of course, when you think about the fact that you've got the real estate show here now in its 22nd year on the air, helping real estate investors to make the right decisions, to avoid the big mistakes. And so that's why you're in good hands if you want to take advantage of that strategy call. And again, the phone number, if you want to call us, it's 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. And we'll be sure and get back with you and talk to you about what your business idea is, what you're starting out with, sort of a snapshot, and take inventory of where you stand right now, so that we can then step forward, either filling in the holes where you might be missing, avoid any blind spots in the plan, and always have enough fuel and a plan to go forward. And when I talk about fuel, remember the fuel of every business is the clients that they have. No clients equals no business. There is not a business in the world that can survive without clients. A client, a few clients, or better yet, lots of clients. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take a quick break here. A few words from our sponsors here on our tools, tips, and techniques Tuesday. When I come back, we're going to go back into some of those questions. I'll do a quick review of what we talked about yesterday on our 12 questions that I put together. Again, if you're interested in getting a copy of my questions, again, all you have to do is go to automaticlandlord.com and then go on our website and just type in 12 questions, and I'll get that report right back out to you. Anyway, you're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner, and I will be right back. So let's see what happened here with our, I like that. I love that. A new lead has entered your system. I have a new system, which is going to make a lot of these reports and everything a lot easier. And actually, I would love to test this out. For those of you watching us on our YouTube page, those of you watching us on our Facebook page, microphone, and what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and dial in. Actually, I want you to text the word Radio Eric. That's Radio Eric. One word, just type in Radio Eric to 561-898-0018. Once again, that's 561-898-0018. Type in the word Radio Eric, and I'll send something cool and special to you as well. But this is a new system I wanted to test before I go live on the air with it. But I think we're just about ready. We got some really cool stuff. Talk about the technology. John Angel, how are you, sir? Erica Marie is watching, and we're gearing in. And welcome back for those of you just joining us here on The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner. I am your host, and we are live here Monday through Friday, 5 days a week on the 4 stations that we mentioned in the beginning of the program, from our AM 1470, where we started 22 years ago, to our FM stations, and to the iHeartRadio network, which now carries us literally nationwide, or worldwide, if you will. Remember, you can always check everything out, get more information, contact us. The best way is on our website at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. And as I mentioned, if you send us a message for the 12 questions, this is what we were going to send you, is the report, the 12 questions that I said, for those of you thinking about starting a business, whether it be a real estate business or any business for that matter. You know, in addition to the 5 shows that we have during the week, we also have workshops throughout the week. This Monday, for our expansion team members, they were invited to a training meeting on our Equity Accelerator program, which is a way to build equity faster in your real estate by accelerating the payoff of your mortgage in a very interesting way, using the algorithms which banks use in the reverse way. So that was for our expansion team. Tuesday, today, while we're on this radio show, we already started our credit workshop. And we've been helping a bunch of people, especially during the pandemic. I'm glad many of you are taking me up on the option that the time that you need to be fixing and correcting your credit, the time to be building and strengthening your credit, is right now and before you actually need it. And so for those of you who wanted to get more information on our special accelerated credit repair, all you have to do is type the word credit to the following number. Just text it to 561-898-0018. Once again, that's 898-0018. Just text the word credit, and we're going to send you the report and the program for the accelerated credit strengthening. So back to our 12 questions for the business, which, by the way, every business owner should have good credit. And this is one of the things that's held a lot of business owners back because they can't qualify for SBA loans or any kind of bank loans. And you'll find out that credit is one of the most important, if not the most important number in an adult's financial life. So our 12 questions, we started this in our part 1 yesterday in Should I Start a Business? And like I said, we couch this in the context of a real estate business, owning rental properties, creating massive passive income over time, using the automatic landlord system where you can actually own and operate properties virtually on automatic pilot. And that's using certain software, using certain systems. But back to the question, you're starting out and you're wondering, should I start into business myself? And how much cash will I have at risk is always the first question. And we talked about that yesterday. Real estate has the major advantage that you can control a large asset with a relatively small amount of money, whether it's 3 to 5% if you're going to buy a property to live in yourself, or more like 20% or more if you're going to buy property as an investment property. But even at 20% down, that's a 5-to-1 asset to down payment ratio, which means you get something very nice, which is leverage. And we talked about some of the 5 ideal points that we look at and how we evaluate our real estate based on the income, the tax advantages, the equity buildup, the appreciation, and that very important leverage. The next question you want to ask yourself and evaluate in a business, because some of you are still working full-time jobs, and quitting a job before you get your business going might not be the option. Now, I talked about one of my friends who we're helping him. He did take that courageous leap and literally quit a 6-figure job, but he had the resources and he had the skills already and a lot of education already under his belt. So for him, this has just been a long time dream for him to finally just cut the cord and go forward. How much energy will it take? It's kind of funny when people start out in the real estate business, oftentimes they come from listening to one of these in and out of town guys that come into your local city, put on a big webinar, seminar, workshop, boot camp, whatever you want to call it. They get you all whipped up and excited, and then what they do is they sell you some bag of tricks, whether it be some CDs, some online courses, or a book or whatever. And then they say, good luck, catch you on my next trip in town. And often they buy into this concept that it's not going to take a lot of work, whether it be real estate, whether it be any other business. What I'm going to tell you is that in the beginning, starting off, you will put in more effort than you're paid for. And it's not like trading hours for dollars as an employee. When you're a business owner, you're going to trade a lot of hours, and sometimes for a long time, not for very many dollars. And that's why I kind of use the comparison. When you have a car which is stalled, and in the olden days, you used to be able to push a car and get it kick-started. And then what you could do is put it in the gear, and then it would start itself. And if you ever did that, the interesting thing about that was that when you push the car, when you first go into it, you got to put all of your energy and all of your strength into it for it to just basically start to lurch forward. But once you get a car that's in neutral going, it becomes easier and easier. In fact, it takes a lot less effort to keep it going, to keep the momentum going once you get the momentum. But you got to put that extra strong, extra tough effort in the beginning. And I try to do that same analogy when it comes to business. That's exactly what you need to do. So right in vein with that is, do I currently have other obligations that will prevent me from giving my business 100%? And are you entering a business that requires 100%? Would there be a much better time to start? I have this conversation all the time with folks now Should I wait for the election? Should I wait for interest rates to go down some more? Should I wait for interest rates to go up some more? Should I wait for the new iPhone? And I kid around because you could always be waiting for something. The important thing is the best time to start a business is when you're ready. Don't wait for the economy. Most people who start a business are making their own economy. You hear story after story that they picked the right business at the wrong time, but that didn't matter because it's as if they didn't know better. They got their business together. They got their effort all lined up, focused, and went forward. So, understanding if you have a good business idea, the timing, the capital that you start. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses fail, not because the idea wasn't good, but because they were undercapitalized. They underestimated, or in fact, in most cases, never even estimated. I can't tell you how many people I meet with who are starting a business and I say, show me your business plan. And they look at me like I was asking them a crazy question and not putting together a sketched out. And we have a very tight, very short, almost you can fit it all on one page if you answer all these questions. And what are my alternatives if I don't start the business now? Back to the timing issue. Am I looking to start a business from a position of relative strength, feeling good about myself, the economy? Am I relatively well off? Or am I starting a business from a position of relative weakness? Recently laid off from a job, as many people are. And sometimes you've got no choice, right? I'm in a position of weakness, but I've got no other choice. Yesterday, as I was talking about, we were working with a gentleman who got laid off a year ago. He's been trying to get different types of jobs and getting one to get in, get going. But he's starting from basically being able to pay his bills and eat every day, but wanting to start something new. The first thing we had to do was to get rid of the things that were holding him back. Big assets, second homes or rental properties that were unable to be rented, in bad shape. And so we're doing a short sale on that one. So that's going to be a great opportunity for an investor over here. It's going to be a great opportunity for him to free up the shackles of a bad investment and get the guidance to go forward. So he's very optimistic, even though he's starting out from a position of relative weakness. Can I test run the business part-time before quitting my job? Now, that's a great question. Can I test run it? Now, in our Thursday workshop after our radio show, we're going to be talking about that idea of the pivot and can I test run my business while and during my current job, and maybe not during as in during the same hours, but you'll put in your 8 hours as you're required to by your employer, but be able to work on different elements and advance your business and maybe even test market some of your business in the evening hours or the hours before or in the lunch hours. And in many businesses, that's very possible. In fact, the cool thing about real estate, very much so, this is a 24-hour business. If you automate this business and have certain processes in place, use certain automated software, you can actually run phone calls while you're at work or overnight. There's some really neat techniques that we teach our clients on how to do that while they're still working so they can get that business going. So yes, can I test run the business part-time in real estate? The answer is yes. Am I starting from a business from a position of relative strength? Is another neat thing that being in real estate, remember, you can control a large asset oftentimes with a relatively very small amount of money. And we can talk on another day about the different types of strategies in real estate, but you can literally start real estate sometimes with very little cash or other people's cash and using either credit or the right kind of contracts and paperwork. So should I choose between a higher risk or lower risk business? Now, that's another great conversation to have, and to have a sounding board, which is why we were talking about book a free strategy session. We can talk more about how that would work, and what is defined as risk by one person is not that risky for another person. So that's another thing to take a look at. And then suppose my business provides less income than I expected. How long should I stick with it? And that, again, these are not yes and no questions, are they? These are questions that require you to think a little bit, and they're designed to make you to think ahead a little bit. Now, in real estate, some people will start, and just a couple $100 of positive income from a rental property is enough to get them started. And even if it takes them longer between getting down payments and being able to find another deal that matches their situation, but that additional income carries them, and there's no reason to start. I'm of the opinion, there's another great book, by the way, that's called The Dip, and the premise of the book is that most people are taught never to quit, right? That quitters are losers. But the premise of the book is that knowing when to quit, sometimes before you even start, or in other times, if you do your proper test market and you start to see that test market is not going well, quit that idea, evolve it, modify it, and then try again. But knowing when to quit is actually a very refined skill that smart business owners, smart managers, they know about when to quit, and when to hold them and when to fold them, as a good poker player would know. So if the business doesn't work out, here's another interesting question, and then this is the one that I'll leave you with in today's program, is if the business doesn't work out, how easily will I be able to pick myself up and move along to the next thing, whether it's to continue working my job, or whether it's to figure out that maybe this field really wasn't cut out for you. And you'll see a lot of successful entrepreneurs have gone through multiple fields. They were willing to take the risk and put the effort in, even if they weren't going to get a return on it, because once they measured and found out that it was going to work or wasn't going to work, they made a concrete decision at that point. And so, again, my invitation, go to our website at automaticlandlord.com, or go to our Facebook page, The Real Estate Show on Facebook. Both of them have an opportunity for you to set a free 30-minute complimentary strategy session. For those of you who heard in the beginning of the show, you can also text the word Radio Eric to 561-898-0018 for a cool report on the radio. And if you want to get more information about our accelerated credit, then type credit to that same number. Either way, text the word, text what you need. We got you covered. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week, not including our workshops around the radio show. But we'll be back again, same place, same time tomorrow. So until then, remember, drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a pivotal day. Bye-bye. Boom. Thank you, Ken. You too. The same. So, I want to say, first of all, a couple of folks extra that joined us. John Brown, the best handyman in town. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you before I leave for my excursion. I'm going down to the house tomorrow morning. Phil, welcome to the show. Radio Eric, you must have caught the tail end there. Make sure it's one word. The key word is one word. I got to see whether that texting program allows me to put spaces in there. Hey, Marcio Amorim is watching. Long time. We're going to start demonstrating, and now I want to try to see if I can make this more popularly available. But you'll see that you've seen where you text in a word and then you're entered into a sweepstake. In our case, what we do is you text in a word and we can send a special report, send access to great articles, and then, of course, for some other alerts as well. So you want to save that number. We're actually developing something for the big round table, so that how you'll register for the big round table this coming Thursday. And I forgot to announce it on the show, didn't I? The time and everything. Anyway, let me go ahead and make sure I disconnect. I hear the software in the background for the radio show. Anyway, I got to jump off. I got another call, another client coming on right after this show. So thanks for joining us here on our Facebook. Let me also remind myself to drop the rest of this. And I'll say goodbye to all of our viewers here on our YouTube page as well. And